back, listeners, to another episode of Cyber from the Front Lines. Today, we are going to explore threat modeling. And in conversation with us today is Vanda Verma, an expert in cybersecurity with years of experience in application security. She also sits on the board of WASP and is president of InfoSec Girls and also a fabulous speaker. Welcome, Vanna. I have been we have been chatting for a while, and finally we are able to do this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Arun. I am glad to be speaking with you and talking about different things with the OWASP and FUSE girls.
Awesome. So let's start with. I'm curious to know more about InfoSec Girls and what it is all about. If we can start with that.
Sure. So, InfoSec Girls is a community where we are trying to bring education, especially around cybersecurity, to the girls via different mediums. For example, we are doing different workshops
Hmm.
at different places, whether it's conferences and colleges. We're also working with a lot of conferences so that the girls can actually see how exactly the corporate world works, because in conferences we have seen a lot of professionals coming from all levels, whether it's a CISO, whether it's a manager, or even a person who's just joined into cybersecurity. So we give them the platform around it.
That's awesome. That's really good. Good. That's a very good way to contribute to the community as well. Very nice. So I always ask this before we dive into threat modeling. If you can talk about your journey in cyber, how you started, and you are now.
Sure. So when I started in cyber, it was not a field wherein you say that I want to be a cybersecurity person or ethical hacker or something. It was a serendipity. It just happened by chance, wherein in my first job, I was asked to join this project on network security. And interestingly, I worked there for 5 years,
Mm.
5 long years in network security, then moved to application security, learned cloud security, and now I am taking care of DevSecOps or product security. So over the years, I've learned a lot in this field, and you know that it's a very dynamic field. Every day there's something new that is coming up, so it's very very interesting. And I have personally learned, especially from the community. When I got introduced to OWASP, I felt, yes, this is a place where I can connect with like-minded people who know um, who know more than what I could even imagine,
Mm.
because they have a very very wide view. I
Nice.
just sorry about that.
No ways. No ways.
Yeah, so it's an incredible journey in cybersecurity, learning from a lot of people. I've got the most amazing mentors who've made me who I am today. Because without the community support or the people who were there to guide me, whether it's introduction to InfoSec Girls or introduction to OWASP or even OWASP board, that's without the community support or mentors who are around, who are always pushing me to do different things, I think
Right.
it would have been possible.
That's really amazing because, like you said, if you have the right mentors, I have had a similar experience. Then it really helps you and opens a lot of horizons for you. And like you, I also started in network security, but then more towards architecture. And then, but after some time, I somehow got involved into the same space, and that's when I realized, oh, this is something for me. So I that was the switch I took, and now more into what I'm doing now. But that's great. So let's dive into threat modeling now. Uh, I was wanted to understand more about threat modeling. So if you can define that for us, what threat modeling is, and uh, what are the key components and steps involved in a threat modeling process?
Sure. So when we talk about threat modeling, it's a simple process which is used in cybersecurity to identify, assess, and uh, if there are any potential threats, to figure them out,
Hmm.
whether it's on a system or an application. So it's like a safety assessment for our assets which are here, which are around, and it also helps us in finding vulnerabilities, any security flaws, or any potential threat before it can be exploited by the malicious actors.
Hmm.
Also, we can imagine it as like we are safeguarding our house, and we're trying to figure out how many doors, how many windows, or how many shafts we have. If we are going on a vacation, we need to close all of them, because even if there's one window which is open, it can be a tricky one. So
Hmm.
figuring out which ones might be weak, or which are not logged properly, and we don't want any third party actor to find our valuable assets, whether it's crown jewels, whether it's any important assets that are there.
Hmm.
So it's very important to identify those assets, and threat modeling is a process which actually help us in finding those assets, and recognize which all data or services which are very very important, and we need to safeguard them. At the
Hmm.
same time, when it's important to us, it can be attractive for the attackers. So understanding what sensitive information or proprietary software or PII data which needs to be secured. That's the first part. Then we need to have a proper management of those assets, because I've seen a lot of times we secure the assets which are not even supposed to be secured, or which are okay to be open, and the crown jewels or the important assets are not secured. So understanding that how exactly the assets are interconnected, data is flowing within the environment, and identify what are the entry points or exit points. It's like I was talking about doors and windows in the house. Another thing is that once you do that, once you know, then you can understand where exactly attack might be able to happen. What are the open endpoints? What are the places which can be loosely open, or a malware or a phishing email can come in, or a phishing attempt can happen. Then finding, understanding if we have those threats are there, are they leading to any kind of vulnerabilities?
Right.
Mitigate it. Because if you find out everything but don't fix it, it's as good as not knowing about it.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I was curious to know because my space is more threat intelligence, threat actor side of the house, adversarial modeling. So, how often do you interact or do you interact with any with the threat intelligence team, or do you take into account any information provided from a threat actor perspective?
When I talk about cyber threat intel, to be very candid, I don't personally work on that.
Hmm.
There is a separate team who
Right.
works with the SOC team, which is Security Operations Center team,
Hmm.
and they whitelist, blacklist all those IPs, all those email domains, especially around phishing emails, or the reports that come out from Recorded Future or from IBM or from any other research firm. So they handle that. I don't personally
Got it.
work with them. It's more from a network perspective, even if it's an application perspective, but they handle it on the
Got
SIM
it. Got
solution.
it. Got it. Understood. So another question that I had was, what are the benefits of incorporating threat modeling into your security practices? How does it augment the security posture?
When we talk about the benefit of threat modeling, first of all, it helps us in understanding the risks
Hmm.
early on, because you get to know your environment better, you get to know your house better. At the same time, it's more from a proactive perspective, because you can anticipate that where all things can go wrong, or where all security issues can be exploited.
Hmm.
For example, when we talk about banks, right? We don't want. our security flaws to be shown on those websites, right?
Mm-hmm.
If for a bank site, we do the threat modeling, we identify and secure any potential weak point in the banking system, because we
Mm-hmm.
don't want especially the frauds, financial frauds. And at the same time, if you find flaws early on, it will be more cost effective as well for an organization, because it'll help you gauge through that if something goes wrong, because no one is 100% secure. If something goes wrong, where things could have gone wrong, because you know your environment better and you can correct it. And security, when we talk about these things, we can't do the blame game, because
Right.
if a breach has happened, it costs the whole company reputation and whatnot, not just the money. So it's about everyone. um, what else? Oh, compliance can be one good part for sure, because compliance is something. If you do threat modeling and a compliance officer comes here, you can actually show all the proofs, all the details as well. It helps, and also you can meet the regulatory requirements,
Mm-hmm.
because now there are a lot of countries who have specific stringent requirements. So probably this can also help in the compliance as well.
Nice. Okay. Um, so uh, in terms of the tools or frameworks that uh, are available for threat modeling, can you recommend some tools or frameworks that help you simplify the process itself?
Sure. Um, when I talk about tools, I am a very big fan of open source ecosystem, and I've personally done a lot of discussions with the open source community, and I will start off with Microsoft tool. Microsoft has a beautiful threat modeling tool,
Mm,
which is for beginners and professionals, and it's free to use. And you can use it. Just look for Microsoft threat modeling, and they'll give you beautiful diagrams and predefined templates, so that you can actually visualize the data flows which are there, as
mm,
well as it helps in mapping out different software applications.
got it.
Then my favorite one is OWASP Threat Dragon. So if I'm talking about threat modeling or application security, I can't go without talking about OWASP. So they have Threat Dragon, which is again an open source tool, and it has both web-based version and a desktop application, and a great way to visualize threat modeling diagrams. Then we also have OWASP Pythium, which is more around Python. So it's a Pythonic framework for threat modeling, which can be used by anyone. Then people call Stride as a framework, which is a spoofing, tempering, repudiation, information disclosure, denial of service, and elevation of. Then there's PASTA, which is more around risk-centric threat modeling, which we were talking about, to manage the enterprise risks and security analysis. Um, I think these are some of the ones which are very good. But yes, there is one more thing: threat modeling manifesto.
Hmm.
All the wonderful champs, whether it's Adam Shostak, whether it's Avi Daglan, whether it's Izzar, so many one or Kim. I think they have done wonderful job in developing the threat modeling manifesto, because threat modeling is more of a mindset than just mapping the risks. So you should definitely take a look at it.
Oh, that's actually a good one. I didn't know about that, so I'll definitely take a look into that. I knew about the Thread Dragon, Wasp Thread Dragon, but not the and the Microsoft, but not the others. So I'll definitely check them out. Um, so we know like every day there are like tons of threats coming in. How do you? What advice do you give in terms of prioritizing the threats during the threat modeling process, considering limited resources and tight timelines?
First one being, first of all, identify the threat. What kind of threat is that? Then categorize it. After that, understand what can be the impact. Very, very important. There could be tons of things which are around. If you don't understand the impact and likelihood on your environment, maybe
Right.
it could be critical for somebody else, but it might be just what you call it as a high severity or even medium severity. So you can't say that, yes, you have to handle it at that point. So you have to have a kind of a risk matrix
Hmm.
and understand what's the impact and likelihood. Um, because as you said, it's a limited resource, so you have to have that understanding, because with limited resource, if you don't work on the best, you
Hmm.
would never have those wins which you need. You would be missing out on the exact issues, and working on the not so right ones. Um, then what uh, then making sure that we have continuous review, rather than saying that I've done it once and I'm done with it. It's a
Hmm.
continuous process. Threat modeling is not just you've done it and you're going. No, you have to continuously do that, and then only it'll be helpful.
Got it. No, that makes sense. The relevancy to the organization, so that you can actually look at what is relevant to you. Yeah, makes sense.
Right.
So, in terms of someone who is just starting on threat modeling, or someone who wants to learn threat modeling, what advice would you give them on how to explore threat modeling in their organization,
I
or
would say,
want to
Mhm.
personally do it?
I think I would start with the very basic understanding of what threat modeling is, reading the documentations which are available, looking for the threat modeling manifesto or the tools we discussed,
Hmm.
and starting off with architecture reviews, because you need to have those reviews done right. And it's not just a paper review, but understanding how the data is flowing, what are the things which are happening. So if you understand your architecture well, it helps in a very beautiful threat modeling process. So whether it's a fresher, whether it's a person who's been there for a long time, I think
Hmm.
it remains the same, because you have to have an understanding of your environment well. If that's there, then I think things can go far.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense because you first want to understand what exactly is threat modeling, and then you can always learn tools and frameworks that are out there. So, good point. Great, all great points, Manna. I really enjoyed this conversation because threat modeling is really very new to me, so I don't know much about it. It was great conversing with you, and I see you speaking at multiple conferences, be it Black Hat or others. So yeah, hopefully one day we can meet in person and we can
Yeah,
converse more.
absolutely, absolutely. I hope we meet soon in person. We've been chatting for a while.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Sounds good. Sounds good. So thank you so much, Vanna, for joining us today and exploring threat modeling with us. It was really great talking with you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank
Glad
you.
to be here.